Okay. Kevin, everyone, this is Sam Kuntz.
Sam, hi. Hey, Sam, thanks for doing this. I really appreciate you being able to set aside some time in the middle of your day. And how are you, by the way?
I'm great.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, great. Sam, I don't know other than when I was in the first weekend if we've ever met. I think we have met, have we?
Yeah, I actually did the forum quite a few years ago. I think we may have met back then in the old days. But yeah, I was in the first weekend.
Okay, great. Sam, let me tell you what we're doing. There's a bunch of people. I'm doing this call with you, this conversation with you, to do some work with training and developing people around the United States who are responsible for the Introduction Leaders Program. So you have the combination of either the center manager and or registration managers on the phone listening from Florida, Detroit, obviously Janine here in Denver, San Jose, Seattle, and Phoenix, okay? So there's unbelievable pressure for you to do this well.
Great.
Sam, I'm kidding. I am kidding. Sam, what we're going to do, I asked to do this because I wanted to work with somebody directly in the Introduction Leaders Program, and I was talking to Janine, and she said, hey, how about Sam? I said, great. That'd just be great. So there's nothing you have to do here other than just be with me in the conversation we're going to have, and I'm mostly going to ask you just a whole bunch of different questions, and the only thing that's required is for you to just be honest and authentic and just stay with me in the conversation, okay?
Perfect.
Great. Sam, part of the other thing is I'm committed that what we're doing here empowers you in your participation in the Introduction Leaders Program and empowers you in your performance in the program inside of your intention to contribute this work to people. Period. So who knows, we may fail miserably, we may produce a breakthrough, and I really am just out to have you get something for yourself in your participation that makes a real difference in your developing yourself in the program, and ultimately to develop yourself to lead our work if that's something that you intend to have happen again. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
Great.
I'm excited.
And Kev, just so you know, he does intend that. He's committed to being a self-expression leadership program leader.
Fabulous. Perfect. Great. Also, just Sam, so that you know, I asked Janine if I could just see your application. I did get present to your longevity of participation. I know how much you love our work.
Thanks, I do.
Okay. Sam, first thing, just a couple quick things so I can just get connected to something. What is it that your company does? What is it that Color Storm Graphics actually does?
We do signs and digital graphics, vehicle wraps, decals, all the way up to channel letters and that kind of stuff, but mostly full color graphics. For instance, that board in the ILP program, we printed that on like a big flatbed printer. And then I have several other printers that print on vinyl and that sort of thing. Yeah,
great. Excellent. Okay, good. I get the picture. I should even have a picture. Okay. Okay, Sam, so we're going to dive right in and just stay with me. We're just, we want to get into this and look and see if there's something that we can create that makes a difference, okay? Sam, first of all, in going through the program, Janine, I don't have the file with the Denver participants' results in front of me anymore. Can you pull that up and just tell me what Sam's results are in the program thus far?
This is so good. This is why I wanted Sam on here. As of Friday, and Sam, correct me if any of this is incorrect, because Sam also said he knows his, he's had 0 guests, 6 registrations, and 0 personal registrations and 0 call-outs.
Right. Okay, got it. That's accurate, right, Sam?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, now, Here we go. Let me just, want to get in to see what we're really dealing with that. So, Sam, did you, from the first weekend when you guys created a whole conversation about a game, and one of the actions was for people to create a list of whatever, the top 100 people in their life that they'd like to have be in the forum. Did you do that?
Yes, I did.
And how many people did you get on your list thus far? Ballpark, if you don't have it in front of you.
Probably like 120.
Great. Okay, well done. Perfect. So what I want to do is I want to work with you on actually somebody on your list that you want to have do the forum, that you either have already shared with and been ineffective with, or you haven't even begun to talk to them because there's some concern you have. Just pick somebody in your life, okay? And tell me who it is.
I've been somewhat ineffective with my dad, talking to him.
Yeah, perfect. Well, your dad has not done the forum, right?
Right.
Okay. What's his name?
Hardy.
Hardy?
Yeah. Yes.
Like as in Laurel and Hardy?
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Okay, that's a great name. And what does your dad do? What does he do in life?
He owns a siding business up in South Dakota.
Got it. Okay, great. And Sam, has he ever been to an introduction?
No.
And have you ever invited him?
So I think I had it that he lived so far away that he wouldn't come, but that was like just something I made up.
Sure.
Yeah.
But the answer is you never invited him to an introduction. Okay, great. Okay, now let's just look at something. So I want you just to look, and I want you to look at what is it that so listen carefully because this is kind of a complex question, okay? What I want you to see if you can speak to is, what is it that you got out of the forum that has you wanting your father to do the forum?
Well, one of the things I got was a relationship with him that I didn't previously have. A better relationship with him, I should say.
Okay, great. Now let me ask. So stay with this, okay? How did that happen?
I just saw that I had made up stories that he wasn't there for me as I was growing up.
When you were a kid?
Yeah, and he because he lived in another state. And in the forum I really saw that he did the best he could, like he sent me birthday cards and Christmas cards, and he called me, not all the time, but from time to time, and like he made an attempt to be part of my life.
Yes.
And I kind of just made up that he wasn't there, but he really was there, and he, did what he could, given that he was, 500 miles away or whatever.
And what was the circumstance that had him living so far away from you?
My parents got divorced when I was about 2, and and my mom and I moved away when I was about 9 to another Denver from South Dakota. And in the meanwhile, he got remarried and had 4 kids with another woman. So I kind of felt like I was the practice kid or something.
Yeah. You were the test.
Yeah.
You were the test child. Okay, I get it. And so they were divorced when you were 2, and then you grew up really with your mom, and you guys moved away when you were 9. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you didn't really see him much, although what he did was he made whatever attempt he made and all that stuff. But now, let me ask you another question. In the Landmark Forum, when you saw what you saw, which was that you really, it sounds like to some degree you had been making him wrong, and you kind of got back and you looked at it from the world of his perspective, and you saw that he was doing the best he could. What conversation in the forum itself did you see that in?
Maybe it's this thing about filters, like just day one, how we listen to people is through filters.
Very good, perfect. So what we call it as a name is already always listening.
Yeah.
Right? And just tell me for a minute what you saw right there, kind of take yourself right back into, we're distinguishing that you listened through a filter, et cetera, et cetera. What did you actually see?
I think I saw that it was just like, I was looking at it from my view, not his view. You know, like I had this already always listening of he didn't love me or didn't care, but that wasn't true. There was no basis in reality.
Great. So very good. So you're sitting there and you recognize that the way you're relating to your father is through this filter called, he doesn't love me or he doesn't care. And you saw it as what?
I just saw that I was making him wrong, and that that wasn't the case at all. Like I added all this to it.
Yeah.
He was really made an attempt to be around, and I'd see him in the summers and that kind of thing, and he'd visit occasionally. He'd drive down and visit me and whatnot. But it was just something that I made up, not that he didn't love me.
Yeah, very good. You saw that you made it up. Yeah. Sam, do you have kids?
I do.
Interesting thing looking from being a father, right?
Yeah.
You know what it takes your as a father, your commitment to your children kind of really pretty much just never goes away. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, good. Now, stay with me. So, besides the fact that you saw that, after you saw that, what did you actually do that, quote, had your relationship with your father improve? So there in the forum you saw that. What did you actually do about that?
I called him.
Yeah.
I said, something to the effect of, I know you weren't here physically, but I know you did the best you could to raise me, and that I really do love you, and I see that you love me now. Like I had made up that you weren't there for me, and that wasn't true at all. That that you really were there, and you really do love me. And when I saw that, it was like I felt like I was a little kid again. Like
yes.
Before we moved away, or before our relationship got weird, or estranged, or whatever.
Yes. Great. And when you called him and said that, on a scale of 1 to 10, of you being just over the top generous and responsible, 10 being just over the top generous and responsible, 1 being you kind of said it all perfunctory, how would you rate yourself in that conversation?
It was like 20 years ago, and I don't remember exactly, but I would say, looking back on it now, I could have been being more, generous. I could have been,
Yes.
Like, it was good, but it wasn't like, it could have been, not knowing what I know now, it could have been a lot better of a conversation.
All right, good. And have you guys, in the last 20 years, have you ever brought it up again?
Yeah, I've done, reviewed the forum, reviewed the, different courses, and I've called them several different times, and,
Yeah.
and it's almost like you must be doing a course because you're calling me to have this conversation.
Yeah. Right, I get it. I totally get it. I totally get it. Totally makes sense, okay? Now, by the way, in any of those interactions over the last 20 years, did you ever actually invite your father to do the forum?
So recently, I think when I did the communications course in April or something, I said, I would love you to do this sometime,
Yeah.
And I know you live a long ways away, but it would be really great if you could do this. And he kind
And
of
what was
said,
his what was his response?
He basically said, okay, I would be willing to look at it, kind of thing.
Great. And then what did you do when he said that?
I think at that point I just said, okay, great. Maybe we could plan a vacation where you come down and do it. And then nothing really happened with it until I've been in the program now.
Yep. And has anything happened since you've been in the program now about it?
Well, I've had more conversations about that, and I invited him to come to the January forum, and he's basically said, it's sounds good, but I don't, I'm not sure, maybe,
Yes.
maybe not, and the weather gets rough around then.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, good. I got the whole picture. Yeah, I got the whole picture. Whole picture. Now listen carefully, because we're right on the verge of actually a breakthrough here. I promise you. You ready?
Yeah.
So I want you to stay. So that's great that you kind of like started to move it forward with him, et cetera, et cetera. Now, Sam, I'm going to go back to the first question I asked you, which is, what is it that you got out of the forum that has it be a concern of yours to have your father do the forum, which you answered. But now I want you to listen to that question from another perspective. Why do you want your father to do the forum?
I guess so he could see that he probably has filters for me and for his other kids as well.
Yeah.
His life, could be radically better, different. And
yes.
he could have breakthroughs in his marriage with his wife and whatnot.
Sure. And do you have any sense of what that would be? What that would look like? What it is that would happen in his marriage and as a father to his children for him? Could you say something specific about it?
Well, I just see that, our relationship now is we talk, once in a while, once a month or something. Mm-hmm. And I would bet that that's the kind of relationship he has with the other 4 kids as well.
Uh-huh.
It's not super, I know his family's really important to him.
Yes.
And I know his business is really important to him.
Yes.
But, I know he could get breakthroughs in both of those areas. But specifically, he could have, does pretty well in his business, and I think he has pretty good relationships with his kids, but it's not like off the charts extraordinary.
Sure.
Like he could have an extraordinary relationship with his wife and an extraordinary relationship with his kids and extraordinary results in his business. Where it's just kind of, everything's just kind of okay, you know? Or
Yeah. Great. Really well said. Really, really, really well said. It's okay. It's not a problem, blah, 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 but there's something that would be possible that would be extraordinary. Yep.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to look at something because I'm gonna lead the witness here a little bit, okay?
Sure.
So I want you to consider that at the level of transformation, what would be possible for your father first and foremost would be something like he gets that he's okay, that he turned out as a father, that his commitment to his family and his business and his kids and his wife is in fact extraordinary, and that he gets known by himself as the actual commitment that he is in life. In other words, he gets acknowledged and known for himself by himself, for who he in fact is, as a father, a husband, etc. Now, did you get what I said?
Yeah. Like, he could get that he is that way in his life already. Like, or
yes. Yeah, like he gets settled and at home, and in fact gets inspired by himself. Look, if as a father, oftentimes I wonder if I'm doing it right. And I would imagine that's a concern for every father and mother, parent. In fact, I'm pretty certain it is. And people question themselves and they worry if they made this mistake or that mistake, or did I do enough or did I not do enough, or oh my God, I'm mad at my children, or oh my God, I'm mad at my wife, or whatever. Where the possibility of the forum for your father may be something as simple as initially getting that he's okay, and he did a good job, and he did what he could. Everything that you said that you got about him.
Yeah.
And that all gets whole and complete for him. Like anything about it gets so complete that he's got no constraints anymore, which I think is the only way there's an access to, rather than things simply being okay, that he starts to get engaged in a world of what's possible beyond things being okay, as a father and as a business owner and as a husband.
Yeah.
What did you hear in what I said?
That for him, the breakthrough is getting that he is okay and everything is, that he has done a great job raising the kids, and he is a, really great businessman. He managed to be in business for 30-something years, and that, like we all question ourselves, did I do a good job? Should I have done this, or should I have done that in the raising of our kids? And everything he did was perfect. Like it was all great. Like he did it. He made it. He succeeded.
Yes, perfect, exactly. That's the right words. He made it. Now I'm going to do I want you to look in two other directions, okay, for the possibility of your father transforming his life, what also could happen. Do you know what was the situation over which your parents got divorced? You may not.
Yeah.
Do you know or not know?
I don't know.
Interesting.
Oh,
Have you?
I think maybe it might have something to do with at the time he liked to drink and gamble a lot, and since then he doesn't drink anymore, but I think he still likes to gamble.
Yeah. Okay, got it. And neither your mom or your dad ever talked about it with you, like why they got divorced?
I think that might have came from my mom, in her
Yeah.
perspective of just that was too big of a deal for her.
Very good. Now, do you think that whatever that was, you and I don't know the facts for sure. I mean, you were two. Who knows, right? But you could imagine two people for whom they're married, they just have a kid, their kid's now 2, and there's something going on where she decides to divorce him because of something. Do you think there might be something incomplete about that for your father?
Yeah.
Certainly. Not like a problem, not like, it's so long ago and blah, 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 but one of the things you recognize in the forum is that the opportunity in the forum is people do, in fact, put the past in the past. They don't live their life compensating for something in the past. It actually gets put in the past. So there may be something there for your father that wouldn't even be a concern for him because it's no longer present. He's learned to live with it, where he, in fact, could complete powerfully his marriage to your mother and their divorce and possibly clean something up with her.
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, now I want you to identify one other completely distinct thing that you think your father could get out of the forum than what we've talked about.
He has his sisters. He's very conservative, and his sisters are very liberal.
Yeah.
He has 3 sisters, and I think he has it that he has it that they're a certain way for sure, but he listens to them in a certain way because of that.
Yeah.
And he still, he has it that he will, go visit them and whatnot because they're family, but he's not super close to them.
Yep.
I think because of that, and his current wife won't go with him when there's like a family reunion because she doesn't like their politics. So I know that's, there's something there.
Yeah, great. People's relationships and lives and families are ruined over meaningless nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, in the forum, all of that has all this incredible significance that inherently is not significant at all. So, obviously, there'd be something possible for him in his relationship with his sisters. These are his sisters, for God's sake. And then his wife's relationship with his family that could at least clear up or maybe become ridiculous or insignificant or funny, or at least have much less of an edge around it or an annoyance in their life and their relationship together out of doing the forum, for sure.
Definitely, yeah.
Yep. Okay, so now, we could go on because if we spend another 20 minutes, you'd come up with 3 or 4 or 5 other things if we kept looking into it. You with me?
Yeah.
Okay, so now, what I want to get clear is, do you know, Sam, that if you called your father and went through this thoroughly and genuinely and authentically with him and simply bared your heart on your sleeve and said, Dad, here's the deal. I don't want this to be some monumental circumstance. I am inviting you to actually, now that we went through all this and the possibility of looking at what, and you'd have to talk to him and let him tell you about what it is that, ask him, what are you challenged by? What are you dealing with? Let's look at where the form would make a difference for you. That you could wind up then with a straight, clear-cut, Dad, I want you to register in the forum, and I want you to come do it in January, and yes, there's weather, but yes, there's also airplanes, and I want you to do this because I love you. Trust me, I'm asking, and I think that you will beyond love it. Do you know that you could just do that and go have him register in the forum?
Yeah.
Yeah? Like, you could call him and just do that. Do you know that you could do that?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so now, what the last piece I want to just get clear from you is, what worries, concerns, or considerations do you have about just being that forthright, straight, and getting a deep conversation done with him in which you invite him to register and it's all real and that you get his ass here in January? What concerns do you have? If any. You may not have any.
No, I don't think I think that seems pretty easy. I mean, I could just call and say, share what I got and then ask him what he's challenged by or what he's dealing with.
Yeah. And really, is it the case for you that you can really stand for him being in the forum? Like you're going to take a stand with him?
Sure.
Great. Okay. Great. So now my question is, when will you do that?
I will call him tonight.
Perfect.
After work.
Okay, perfect. Now look, you're either going to succeed or fail, or you'll move something forward. Yeah?
Yeah.
Right. And, Sam, look, you got to be with him and be present with him as the conversation unfolds. But you've got to, I would kind of look into maybe prepare some notes from what we talked about what you see you could get out of the forum, and you as a father share what you got and share again back the stuff that you got about him as a father and what you see would be possible. And then have him tell you what he's dealing with. Both things all have to be there first. That's called enrollment. It's what it actually is. We call it enrollment. We give it a name called enrollment. But what it is really everything we just went through. And when that's present, you then need to just invite him to register and say, Dad, let's do this thing. You can stay with me, whatever. We'll get you a flight, whatever. Let's work this out now. And you'll do that once you've had the presence of what you got present to with you and I talk. I mean, I got present to what the possibility of the forum would be for your father for sure. And you know that there's worlds beyond that, beyond what we even discussed that's available in people transforming their life. And you either, as I said, succeed, fail, or move the conversation forward. Hard to not get attached, so you just got to stay really straight, and you got to maybe even tell them, look, I want you to do this so bad, I'm so attached. Now, I'm setting that aside because I really want you to do it for you. But you have to stay in there and be authentic. And I'd like for you to let us know, you can let Janine know, let us know what happens. And if there's any other support, if you fail, we'll, get back on the horse and see what there is to make a difference with after you talk to them.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, now, Sam, here's the last piece. Last piece. From what we just went through, do you think you could reproduce what we just went through looking in the way that we looked with every single person on your 120-person list?
Yeah, just getting in their world, figuring out what they're dealing with, really.
and what you see that they could get inside of what they're dealing with, and you're sharing see, when you said the thing about, when that thing I saw that I had a filter, and you actually distinguished it was already always listening, and you saw that you listened through whatever kind of decisions or conclusions that you made, my dad didn't love me, blah, 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 from what actually happened in the forum. You're sharing those things from the actual conversations that took place. Like, look, I was sitting on the first day and we were talking about how people listen through a filter and blah, blah, blah. And I realized, man, I'm so judgmental and I made up all these things about people in my life. You're sharing that with people, presences to a large degree, how the forum works and how people have monumental breakthroughs in the things that are actually constraining them in their life. And you can do that with everybody on your list. And I recommend you get 2 or 3 other things completely distinguished for yourself that you've accomplished in life that are a direct result of having done the forum, and identify where that came from in what conversation in the forum itself, so that you get really good and practiced at sharing that.
Okay.
Does that make sense what I said?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Okay, Sam, anything you want to say about any of this thus far?
No. Sounds great.
Okay. All right, I look forward to meeting your father. Let us know what happens.
Okay, will do. Awesome.
Okay, great. Really, call Janine tonight. Let her know what happens. When will you call your father? What time are you going to call him today?
Like 5 o'clock.
Perfect. All right, I'm excited. Sam, that's it. You can hang up. Thank you so much for everything that you did.
Awesome. Thanks. I appreciate it.
All right, bye.